What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Discovering Nicole. That would be me, your girl. Today, I've got a story time for y'all. So, buckle up your seatbelts. I hope you guys are not easily embarrassed. You might feel a little like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's telling us that. Well, one of my amazing followers here on YouTube requested that I share with you guys the day I lost my V card, when I lost my virginity. So let's get into it. So it was 1997, and I think I was in ninth grade in 97. Yeah, ninth grade in 97. Okay. I had just broken up with my this boy that I dated like in eighth grade. His name was J.R. John Ross White. It was like, not even a big deal. We weren't like in love or anything like that. It was just like something to break me in. But I was still a virgin. One day I went to a basketball game and there was a guy there named Robert, and he was with a bunch of other guys that I knew by the Orange Street Gangsters. Okay. The OSG is what they called each other. And they were some white skater boys from Hot Springs High School. And I went to Lake Hamilton High School. Well, when I met Robert, you guys, he was tall, dark, and handsome. Brown hair, green eyes, tan skin, like 6 foot something, and I'm like 5'4", 5'5". And so I was just like, damn, he's hot. I was very attracted to him. We started dating, you guys, and we fell in love so fast. Like, when I tell you that this guy was my first love, I thought that I was going to marry him. He got me a promise ring. It was just a band, like this band with the diamonds around it. And I was so grateful to have that. Like, it made me feel so special. Now, right around the time me and Robert started dating, it was when I was in 10th until 11th grade. I was turning 17, right? Right around that time is when I started using drugs. I started experimenting with stimulants, Adipex, phentermine, then ephedrine, then cocaine, and then methamphetamine. And by the time me and Robert had gotten together, I was like drinking and smoking and doing methamphetamine, right? Well, one thing about Robert is that he only smoked and drank. He didn't like do meth. And he was totally against me doing it. But our relationship was toxic to the point where, like, if he would do something that made me upset, like, I would chase him around the house trying to beat his ass. And you guys, I'm not proud of that. Like, you should never resort to domestic violence, but I have a really controlling spirit. Whenever I'm in a relationship and I'm insecure, like, I want to control the other person. You know what I mean? And so it just wasn't a healthy relationship. Well, that's how that went. No, I remember one day he came over to the house, and I don't know what we were fighting about, but I grabbed my hairbrush out of my purse and I chased him out my mother and father's house, beating him over the head with this fucking hairbrush. Like, I was fucking gangsta. No, I was bad. I was bad. So, because I was using drugs, I started to like experiment and get really promiscuous. Okay. And like, I really, really loved this guy. Like, he was my first love, but I was cheating on him like every other day because I was going to all these parties. I was going to like keg parties after football games. And you guys have to remember, like, I wasn't a cheerleader, but I was on the dance team. So I wore like a cheer outfit, but I danced at halftime on the court and on the football field. We would go out there and we would perform choreography, like a whole ass dance to a song. And then I would run after doing that, and I would get in line with the band and I would play in the marching band. So I was busy. Then I played fast pitch softball and I played basketball for a while as a point guard. So I was busy, busy bee. Well, once I started abusing drugs and alcohol, like, I started falling off with like my extracurricular activities. I started skipping shit. And I remember I got suspended. I got in-school suspension because I went to a game at Hot Springs High and I was drunker than Cooter Brown. Me and my friend Jessica and Jerry, I had gotten Seagram 7 and 7 Up, and I drank so much of it, you guys, that I could barely stand up. I went to the bathroom at that game, and I had been doing toe touches in front of everybody on that fucking basketball court with no bloomers on. So I went down the bleachers to try and go to the bathroom, and I almost fell on my coach's pregnant wife. So Jessica followed me to the bathroom. She's like, girl, we got to get you out of here because it's going to go down, right? So we're trying to sneak out the front of the high school, and Principal Brooks touches my shoulders, and he's like, you're not going nowhere. These fools press charges on me. I got a public intoxication, okay? My parents were so upset with me, so upset. But that's just a little bit of how bad I was getting in my addiction already at 17 years old, okay? 17 years old. So I'll never forget it. It was after a party that we had at a hotel room. Now, my mom and dad, as long as Robert's mom would be there, they would let me go stay the night at Robert's house. And I never thought in a million years they'd let me stay the night at Robert's house, but they did. And he would come over, and sometimes he would stay at our house, but we would sleep in separate rooms, you know. But at his house, I slept in the bed with him. His mom was so fucking cool. Well, I had never had sex, you guys. Now, you have to remember, I was super duper thin because I had been using methamphetamine, and that was one thing that I was really self-conscious about, was being skinny. I remember that we were making out, kissing. He was touching me all over, and we took our clothes off, and I had like matching bra and panties that were so cute. And we got completely naked, and I laid down on, I was laying on the bed, and I didn't even know what hole it was supposed to go in. Okay. I had no idea. I had to learn everything through trial and error with this guy, right? He was my first everything. BJ, him going out on me, everything. And when I tell you guys, I was like, I really think it's going in the wrong hole. But eventually it went in the right hole. And I'll tell you this, it hurt at the beginning. Like it hurt for like the first 5 minutes. It hurt. And I was super duper uncomfortable. But I will tell you this, like one thing about me is that like I'm a very sexual person. And so I made it work, baby. I made it work. And I always made sure that I was taken care of during sex, and I always made sure that he was too. And so I'll never forget going, is that the right hole? I was so embarrassed. I can't believe I have that. I had to ask him that. But after we were done, I was laying down on the bed, and I was so skinny, you guys, my like backbone was sticking out. And I remember Robert saying to me, like, 5 more pounds, Nicole, and you would be so perfect. And I was literally anorexic, And I remember that just hurting my feelings so bad because I felt like I looked so good, But he didn't mean it in a bad way, but it was something that stuck with me for the rest of my life. Now, after we got that awkward ass, I don't know what hole to go in out of the way, it was like every day, y'all. Anytime we got together, we were in that room, having sex, making out. And listen, let me tell y'all something. Wear protection, every single one of you. I know a lot of you guys are younger that watch my channel now. If you're having sex unprotected, you're stupid, okay? Like the way the world is today, you can catch AIDS, you can catch, chlamydia, gonorrhea, trichomonas, whatever that trick is. And some of that shit is fucking painful to have. Believe me, I know. I have had STDs before, and I'll tell you guys the STD story in another video. But yeah, that's how I lost my virginity. I lost my virginity to my first boyfriend, my first love. And me and him were together for like 5 years. We actually broke up when he caught me cheating on him. And he literally came to the state fair and found me there and called me all kinds of names in front of everybody. And I'll never forget, like I was begging him not to break up with me because even though I cheated on him, I didn't want to break up. Like I really loved him. I was just like young, and I enjoyed the attention I was getting from guys because I had like gotten skinny and I looked really good. And plus the drugs, it was just like a combination. Like if I had met him later on in life, it would have been a totally different story. Do you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't meant to meet him later on in life. I was meant to meet my husband, Neil. And my husband, Neil, is the most amazing man. And now I realize what real love is now that I have my husband. Because Robert couldn't even hold a flame to my husband. But that's how he caught me. He caught me and then came to the fair, bawled me out in front of everybody. And you know that I couldn't sleep by myself for a year after that. I was actually kicked out of my parents' house. I had graduated high school and I was staying at my friend Sonia's, Miranda's, Tammy's. I was just couch hopping everywhere. And everywhere I went, you guys, I took these 2 body pillows with me. And I would put one on one side and one on the other, no matter where I was. And I would cry every night. Every night for a year. When I would go to bed, I would cry. Because I had just become so comfortable with having somebody in the bed with me, somebody to lay with, somebody to hug and love and just be there, you know. And it took a long time for me to get healed from that relationship, you know. And what ended up happening is after that year passed by, I just ended up getting in an even more toxic relationship. The next relationship I got into was with a guy named LD. And if you guys would like me to make, you know, a story about that and share that with you guys, I will. But yeah, losing my virginity was awkward as fuck. I didn't know what hole it was going in. I was looking cute though. I had cute underwear and cute bra on, but I had no idea how to do it because my parents raised me up Pentecostal. And so I was taught that if you had sex before marriage, you were going to go to hell, you know? So my mom never sat down with me and taught me anything about that down there, you know? I think it's super important, and I will have my husband teach Nate about his little, you know, wing wang when he gets big enough. But I think it's important to like educate your kids and let them know, hey, safe sex, you know, if you need birth control, that's okay. Come to me. Nathaniel can come to me and talk to me about anything. And that was part of the problem with me and my family was my dad, you know, he ruled with an iron fist. So I didn't feel like I could talk to my parents. I was afraid I would get in trouble. So it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them, but you know, that's part of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story time about the time I lost my virginity. And if you want to hear any of the other stories about my next boyfriend or the boyfriend after that or blah, 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 just put it in the comment section and let me know. All right. I love you guys so much. Oh, October 20th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to have Dr. Dan Carlin on. He's from Recovery Delivered, and he's a doctor, and he's going to come on, and we're going to talk all about it, and he's going to share, you know, about being the chief medical officer of Recovery Delivered. So I hope you guys will come to that live stream. It'll be on October 20th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube. All right. Bye, y'all.